Hey guys, hello. This is the second video in the series of daily section based answer writing. Yesterday we have discussed about landslide hazard zonation mapping. If you have not watched that video, please watch that video because the concepts are interconnected and they can be used in different questions. So let us begin with the today's question that was asked in the 2019 mains. The question is on vulnerability. The question is that how the vulnerability is an essential element for defining disaster impacts and the impact of this vulnerability or the threat to the people and how and in what ways vulnerability to disasters be characterized. So characterization, how that characterization happens, and you have to discuss about the different types of vulnerability with reference to disasters. So first you have to define what is vulnerability. In the GS paper 2, we have to study about the vulnerable sections of the society. Who are the vulnerable sections of the society? Women, children, old aged people, and those who are stricken by poverty. They are more vulnerable to any disasters than those who have the capability to adapt to such untimely disasters. So poor people are at the forefront of the climate change. So these type of disasters impact more those who are more vulnerable. So in this vulnerability assessment, it is defined by the United Nations Office of Disaster Risk Reduction as that the conditions determined by physical, social, and economic and environmental factors. So here are multiple or multidimensional uh, factors which impact uh, the susceptibility of a particular individual or a community or an asset or a system to the impacts of hazards. Consider an example of an individual who is very poor and who is completely dependent on daily wages. Imagine the situation if there is an cyclone and it destroys his or her home completely, then how he will survive? He is more vulnerable uh, to such disasters than the one who has the economic capacity, who lives in the city, and who earns enough to tide over such disasters. So this individual uh, is more vulnerable. He is more susceptible to the disasters than the one who is empowered. And talking about the community, a particular community, if the community is not developed, then the community might be more susceptible to the challenges created by the disasters. So you have to consider the susceptibility of the individual, susceptibility of the community, or particular assets or systems. Assets or system can be that if uh, we have built an infrastructure project in the disaster prone area and that asset or that system might be more vulnerable than those who are in the stable area which the area which doesn't have that much vulnerability due to the disasters like earthquake or landslides. So vulnerability is basically identifying the susceptibility about these individual community assets and the impacts of hazards on these particular uh, categories. Like we have divided it into individual, community, systems, or any type of infrastructure. So in this way, the vulnerability is defined. So the factors for determining vulnerability are economic, social, environmental, and physiographic. So why we do have to uh, do vulnerability assessment? It is only when the population and decision makers know where and how vulnerable the system is, and which social, economic, physical, and environmental factors play a major role in it. The adequate measures can be implemented to reduce the vulnerabilities to disasters. If we are knowing that cyclones occur in a particular region, then we will be able to respond to the disaster created by cyclones more effectively. And if we know that in a particular region people are more poor, they are socio-economically backward, then they will be more vulnerable to particular disaster, and that is why they need more help. So we'll be able to give them the necessary support, and the post disaster mitigation processes can be made more effective and responsive to these people. So that is why we need vulnerability assessment. So what it will do is that it will reduce their vulnerabilities to disaster in the post disaster period. There are two approaches of vulnerability assessment. First is the scientific approach. It is about researching, and it also includes practical measurements and approaches to vulnerability and disaster risk reduction. And the second approach is the policy approach. It provides the information about spatial distribution of vulnerability. As in the last video, we have seen that the land hazard zonation map. So northern region of the country and northeastern region of the country is more vulnerable to the landslides. So that is the policy approach. We do know the spatial distribution of landslides in our country. So it will be easier for the decision makers like district magistrate to take decisions appropriately, considering the physiography of the particular region to the natural hazards like the landslides. So authorities can take effective decisions uh, in less span of time if they know the vulnerability of particular area. Now we are dealing with the second part of the question, that is the types of vulnerabilities. The type of vulnerability can be physical. First type can be the physical vulnerability. So the potential for physical impact created on the physical environment. Physical impact could be in the form of earthquake, it can be in the form of cyclones, it can be in the form of landslides. So how much damage, what is the potential of particular disaster to damage the physical environment of a particular region? So that is called as physical vulnerability, and it is also expressed in elements at risk. So that is a particular uh, indicator or measurement of impact of particular disasters or the threat it poses to different elements such as buildings or infrastructure or any other physical uh, environment in a particular region. So the degree of loss to a given elements at risk, or a set of elements at risk resulting from the occurrence of natural phenomenon of a given magnitude and expressed on scale of 0 to 1. So this elements at risk is expressed in the 0 to 1 range. For example, a wooden house is sometimes less likely to collapse in earthquake, but it might be more vulnerable to the event of fire or hurricane. So that is the assessment of physical vulnerability. The second is about the economic vulnerability. As we have discussed earlier, that the poor people are more vulnerable to the hazards than those who are empowered and rich. As we have already discussed about the job losses, and it the hazards can lead to the business interruption, and secondary effects such as increased poverty, because people will lose the sources of livelihood. They will not have any particular employment to earn, and people who are earning their daily wages, and they are feeding themselves uh, only upon that particular earning, they will be more vulnerable, and it will also increase the poverty. uh, in that disaster prone region. And different economic sectors can be categorized on the level of the risk created by that particular disasters. So that is the economic vulnerability. Here you can cite an example that the families with low income often live in high risk areas around the cities because they cannot afford to live in safer and more expensive places. So you, wherever possible, you should give examples. It will also substantiate your arguments. So the next type of vulnerability is the social and environmental vulnerability. Social vulnerability can be that the we have discussed the individuals who are more vulnerable to particular disaster, like the single parent households, pregnant or lactating women, or handicapped persons, and children and elderly. So these are the vulnerable sections of the society. So they are socially vulnerable, and the potential impact of disaster uh, could be much more higher on these particular sections of the society. You also can give example here about the women and children who are more vulnerable to disasters as compared to men. Now the environment vulnerability can be that how the disaster can potentially impact flora, fauna and ecosystem biodiversity of a particular region. And the disasters, environmental disasters like cyclones uh, can be more impactful in particular regions. Like tropical cyclones are only occur in the tropical region, so the people living in tropical region are more vulnerable than the people living in the temperate region. You can conclude this question by explaining or giving the example of regional diversity in India. That given the regional diversity of India in terms of socio-economic development and physiographic factors, it becomes crucial to assess vulnerability level of different regions to a disaster for an effective response. As India is very diverse country, culturally as well as geographically, so it becomes very important for assessment of vulnerability of a particular region, so that it can help in giving an effective coordinated response to the challenges created by the disasters. Friends, if you have liked the video, please like the video, and please subscribe to the Telegram channel. Uh, the link is given in the description. And if you have not watched that video, you must watch that video as it will help you in interlinking the concepts. Thank you for watching.